Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
All right, welcome to the show. This is episode 70B, 0x7b, 70B, the 124th episode of Super Happy Dragon Lucky. Reminder, nothing that you're about to hear is going to be financial advice. Some of it may be technical advice. This week on Number Go Up, the number of self-governed communities in the world with the release of layer governance on Den.Social. There are 91 communities already there that now all have decentralized governance built in. So good stuff. Okay, so first we go to Dragonchain Updates. The first thing to tell everybody is that there is, I don't know how to best explain this. If you remember, we had a hardware failure on the Bitcoin node a number of weeks back. We switched to a new service. That service worked for quite a while and stopped working. So we're about to switch to another. Just so you know, if there's anything that you see, anything weird with the L5s, that is it. And that should be up this week, hopefully pretty soon here. But the ETH node, the Ethereum node has been fine. Everything's working well. So anyway, the level 5s are still functional. We just need to get the Bitcoin node back in order. So anyway, next there's been a lot going on behind the scenes, but we aren't going to expect to have anything announced until after the holidays, or at least nothing of all of the things we're working on right now. So hopefully beginning of the year we'll have a bunch of things that are public and visible. So watch for that. Next, we go to Den.Social Updates. So first up, layer governance is live, as I said before. I'm going to demo here in a couple of minutes, as well as if you watch Coffee with Den tomorrow morning with Dave, and also on a Den governance call. We'll probably have a few demos. So first thing I will do, let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up, and I will show you guys. Okay, so the main page, right? What in the world did I do here? I'm sorry. So there we go. Wait, no, geez. Okay, there. And it's not showing. Okay, there it is. Sorry, it wasn't showing what I was seeing on my screen. So, okay, now we go in, and if you click on the layers on the side tab in the nav, just out today, so you might have to do a hard refresh, a Control-Shift-R or something. You should now see gavels on all of the layers that you own. Or actually it's on every layer, I guess, even like say I don't own any of Christianity. But I can still go see, and there are no governance issues there, right? But I do own some of history, and I'll show you a vote first. So history layer itself, if you click on the gavel, it'll take you to the governance issues. The other way you can get there is if you go straight to the history layer itself, it will show you the same thing. One way or another, you can see here's a vote. So you can see at the top, the title is going to be standardized. It's governance issue, tags, because it's a config governance issue, configuration of the layer. And there's a change proposal. So the description is something that I filled in myself when I created this proposal, adding a tag for Western Civ. And so the details are going to be standardized. It's going to say create. It probably should say create tag. Well, we have a few things. If you guys have feedback to make it more understandable, let us know. But 3 voters have approved. No one's voted to deny that proposal. You can actually see Alexandre, Den, and I have all voted to approve this proposal. You would see the same on anybody who votes against it. And if you clicked on this and committed, it would move your vote, right? So that's that. Let's see here. The next thing I wanted to show was to go in. Oh, I should have stayed there, huh? To go in the same layer. I'll just use the history layer to do all this, and make a miscellaneous governance issue, which whatever you would say, we want to know what your favorite color is. We want to know whatever we want to have decided in our community. You add options, you could remove options, so on, so on. If you create it, it will be another governance issue. Because it's a miscellaneous one, you won't automatically vote. So you would need to go in and vote on a miscellaneous governance issue. The other thing to note, the other thing to demonstrate is a lot of layers, is to go to settings, right? So if I go to the history layer and I go into settings, and in this case, I had noticed when I was looking for an example that under profile, under description, that the layer description itself has a misspelling in it, right? So I can just say correct misspelling. And I can even misspell misspelling, which is even better, right? And I propose it, and it will now be in there. And now if I go back, and I'll go just to show you the full roundabout bit of it. Now description change proposal is in there, and because it is a configuration change, my vote, and I have it was formatted, but 1.4 million lot for the history layer, which is automatically voted to approve because I was the one who requested this proposal. So generally that's how all of it works. We are going to have, we've been rolling this out piece by piece, but when you create any type of a governance issue, it will create a post in that layer, and it will, when the issue is resolved, it will also update that post. So it'll be an interesting thing. Right now, there's not a lot of visibility. You have to know that they're there. Or if you make a governance issue right now, we do suggest that you should go ahead and make a post that describes it, that points to it. You can actually copy the URL in your browser and paste that into your post. That is, so if you're in the voting interface itself right here, you can't see it because of the way I'm sharing the screen, but the URL itself is will now, as of this morning, directly send the user to the voting page. So in the future, it'll be nice because that post will be a place that everyone can discuss why the proposal was made before they decide and everything else. And then the other thing we're going to add is notifications, right? So whenever a governance issue is created for a layer that you own lot, you will get a notification. So you can, immediately either ask questions about it or go ahead and vote if it's something obvious. So the configuration ones are really interesting because they are directly autonomous. They are, basically when resolution happens, the smart contract immediately updates whatever that configuration item is. And if you, like say, we've had a couple of cases, if you own the majority of the layer, the majority of the lot, like some of the layers that Den owns, as an example, it'll automatically make the change because you control the majority of the lot. There's some other interesting things about it. We'll talk in a lot more detail in the governance call. That is it. That's the demo. A little sloppy first demo, but we'll probably get it better through the week. So, and then as these new notifications roll out, it'll make it a lot easier for everyone to see what's going on. So anyway, okay, perfect. And if you do have any history lot, go in there and vote. I want to see, even if it's against that tag, I want to see it resolved so that I just want to see it work through in a very organic way. But right now, not everybody has the visibility that vote's going on. So we'll work all of that out. Okay. Next update, the DIN governance call related will now be weekly so that we can go through and help people understand all of the pieces better and how to participate. We also have site-wide governance for all of DIN is coming, hopefully either right before or right after the new year. It will have the same interface that we're seeing here, and it'll be refined even further, but it'll have the same interface for voting, which is in browser, very simple. There is a current active vote in the DIN governance layer, which you should go in, check it out, give feedback, and if you have DIN governance lot on the governance board, do please vote. It is effectively an approval for the new model, which based upon all the feedback from the community, I think is a really good model. And also there is a stipulation in there that allow us to continue the 2021 model of governance until the new model is released, because we don't know how long. There are a couple of pieces remaining to get implemented before we could deploy it. And of course, we need to test it. So we don't know if it will be before the end of the year or not. Okay, so next update, the December 2021 LCP commitment phase starts today. The commitment phase lasts 1 week only. Two new layers will be created this month. The first is the top proposed based upon lore committed. And the second layer would be the top proposed layer by unique voter count. Last month, they were the same layer that won both. If there's overlap between these two groups, only one layer will be created. The proposer of each winning layer will now receive 10,000 lot. And Den is putting in lore to award that 10,000 lot. That's new this month. It was 1,000 before, I think. Den will commit 10,000 lore for each winning layer and we're basically doing that to get lot for future giveaways, promotions, and other things that might make sense. Right now, there are already 7.2 million lore committed to 127 layer proposals. So get in there and figure out which layers should be created next, commit some lore. A lot of you, even if you've never purchased lore, might not know that you do likely have lore in your account based upon the lore farming or behavioral awards system. So do check that and go and use the lore. So next, also in Den, with this latest release, there is also an FAQ finally linked in the system It is currently pointing to a Google Doc to keep it very simple. And every answer is addressable or linkable now. So if you need to answer someone with a very specific question, you can point them directly to the question in the FAQ. Beautiful thing. Okay, now we go to World Blockchain Roundtable Updates. Episode 30 will be on Thursday, and the subject is DAOs, or Decentralized Autonomous Organizations. So go leave any DAO-related topic or question on a weekly post, and do please vote on the questions and topics that are already in there from others, so that we have a good set of questions. We've been getting amazing content, really good questions from everyone. So we want to thank you for that, and keep it up. Also, watch and share last week's episode on Blockchain Now. Currently has 1,823 views, and the more views it gets its first week, the more lot all of those participants will get. And it's rounded down to the most significant digit. So if we got no more views, it'd be 1,000 lot created. If we just pass 2,000, it'll be 2,000 lot. So keep that in mind. Go share it. Make sure you watch it. Actually, last week was an amazing show. Really, really good content. Really good stuff on there. And that's all the updates. So we're going to do the three question AMA right after this.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.
All right, so we get the latest, and we go down. Let's see here. Wait for him to load. Some reason have some. We'll chalk it up to internet. I don't know. All right. DanCan LT, DanCan Light, and I don't know how to pronounce it. DanCan LT. How many Dragon are in Takara, and how can the public check this information? So that's an interesting question. I'm trying. Let me see if I can figure out what you mean. Try to interpret it. There are no Dragon in Takara. It's not a wallet. Takara is a system that maps. How do I describe this best? It's been so long. It's a system that maps market value to a fixed value, stable value on the inside for accounting purposes. So it was the answer way back from 2019 to how do you get a normal business enterprise to adopt blockchain, when one of the key, there are a number of other things, obviously privacy, other things that Dragonchain solves. The one thing that we hadn't figured out until 2019 was, how do we deal with token volatility and the necessity for a company to go to someplace like KuCoin or somewhere that they might not have an account to buy tokens just to use the system, right? Because you think about a business, it wants to have an interface that's like, look, I don't care. We already have accounting systems. We already have the ability to do purchase orders or use corporate credit cards to buy services, that they can come in to Dragonchain and either, in any manner, whether it's invoiced or whether it's a credit card transaction, we take dollars and we fund their account with Dragons. And right now, we obviously use Dragonchain's Dragons to do that. And at some point that will switch, and we will have other mechanisms to do it. And we have some plans on that, including on time related to that, because that's always this really interesting way that, some customers bring Dragons in on their own. Some customers bring their own time in because they've built enough. Some of them partner, and this is the thing that most community people should think about, that if you bring someone in and you have the time, you can work whatever margins you need on fees. That you could say, look, I have 1 billion times, so I'm going to get you down to the lowest fee, and yet, you're going to be willing to pay a penny for every transaction. That was intended. I don't know. I think there are a couple of people doing that. But either way, Takara is not like a wallet or something holding dragons. It is a system that isolates any token volatility that there is. And if you look at the metrics page, you can see, I think it's one of the bottom panels, that there is the Takara, I think it's called Takara rate, but it's basically the price that is set. And it's if I remember correctly, I'd have to go back and look, it's been so long, but I think it's a 14-day moving average set at the beginning of every month. And so at the beginning of every month, Takara rate is set. All fees paid inside the system by businesses, and all rewards, there you go, Takara price. All rewards are based upon that rate. Doesn't matter what CoinGecko reports or anything else, that is the rate that is used. And there were some interesting things that happened early on because we didn't have a way to set the price, so we set it arbitrarily, and it confused a lot of people. So we apologize for that, but one way or another, I think that's the best answer. And hopefully, if you don't know, if it doesn't make sense, either edit your question or make it reply to that question, and let us know if that answer makes sense. But that's what it is anyway. And it's by the way, a very valuable system because nobody else can do that, and that's why we did it anyway. Okay, SBAJK. Any updates about Open Source Money Series 2? When release or any hints? Open Source Money Part 1, when publicly released, people can see on YouTube or other platform. Why Dragonchain facing too much restrictions? Why not much marketing? Thanks, Joe. Geez. Okay, so let's see here. Last time, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not the one that can best answer that. We can talk to JD, but I know he's working on it. I know they've filmed parts of it. I know that they've even had me film parts of it. And I know that they have some pretty good things that they were building on it. I don't know what the planning is on or timing. They've been really busy with other projects. But I will ask him when I get a chance. I need to talk to him sometime this week anyway. And also about I'm really interested as well in Part 1 or the first series because others have asked about it. Eric Voorhees asked about it on Twitter, and I've seen a few other cases. And so far, we don't know yet when. They had some pretty good directions. They had a couple of different platforms that were willing to use it, and they were just trying to get the best deal. So I don't know where it's at, and it's probably I would expect it not before the end of the year anyway. I think a lot of it, once the holidays come around, everything slows down in business in the US. So we're waiting on a couple of things there. But and why all marketing is focused on business. So you're not going to see us advertising on Facebook or Twitter. Just note that. You're not going to see us posting ads on CoinMarketCap. Okay, that's not what we're going to do. We're not going to market to traders. We're going to market to businesses. I mean, our whole point is to get adoption, right? So that's where we're focused, and we are doing marketing there, and it is focused. So anyway, good stuff. Next and last, Street Meat. What is the biggest struggle with onboarding new clients? This is a great question. It has been almost always about the messaging, the actual conceptual, the information that they need to know in order to know what we can help them with. inside of Disney, we had a lot of good success because we approached it very philosophically, and it was a controlled audience, or it was how do I say, it was a different world. It was, we were on the inside, so it was easier to talk to people, but we found a lot of success by talking about capabilities, not going to someone and saying, hey, you guys should use blockchain for X, because very typically that's not going to be their top priority, and or they aren't going to be passionate about it, and they might not even understand what that use case is. Instead, we would go and say, you can do X, Y, and Z, whether it's abstract proofing for legal or risk management, or if it was tokenization for behavioral effect, or if it was just to provide better transparency. We would kind of build those out in almost like logical building blocks, and then they would come back to us. So we've been doing that outside of Disney for a long time, but I would say to finally get to your question, the biggest struggle has been getting over all the noise out there. Because frankly, when everything is about number go up, some customers, especially if you go back 2 years, some customers thought that's what it was all about, and they would want to come in on that basis, even though they could probably have done something more reasonably valuable to their own customers or shareholders or whatever else. And just in the past, maybe year, at least in the past 8 months or so, we're getting a lot more people coming in who, frankly, a lot of times it's because of our blog postings or other information that's out there that they come across. They're directed to do research on blockchain for X, and they come across one of our blogs, and then they come in and talk to us, and they already understand. In fact, we've had a lot of customers in the past few months that I've been amazed at their level of understanding as to what is unique about Dragonchain, right? And that's important. So that's probably it. The noise has always been the biggest struggle, and that's why sometimes in the bear markets it's better because we don't have that same type of conversation. So anyway, that's where we're headed, and I think we have we've overcome a lot of those issues. We still have, in my opinion, a lot of trouble with the big influencers on Twitter not understanding what we're about, thinking it's all about price, and therefore they ignore what we're doing. And there's good and bad in that, I guess, but either way. Thanks so much. So that was the 3 questions, 3 lot for the Dragonchain layer. And next, let's see here. Next, we will talk about merch. So, okay, first off, let's have the first is the Merry Christmas JoJo, and it's Merry-Christmas-JoJo code to get 20% off of all of the Christmas merch until January 3rd. Next, we have Celebration JoJo, which is Happy-New-Year-JoJo, which is for all of the New Year's Eve apparel. And then the new one is for the first 6 people to enter this in Den-Colors, you can get 20% off of the new Den shirts and all the primary and secondary colors. So, and that's in the logo is in that color. So I need to get a bunch of these. So either way, go and make some purchases, but get in there. First 6 people get 20% off those. And in closing, make sure you watch us again next Tuesday, and watch the World Blockchain Roundtable next Thursday, and watch Coffee with Den tomorrow morning with Dave. Follow Dragonchain, Real Denizens, and Jojo Row. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thanks a bunch. That's everything.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.